Well, in my last church, it's about 30 years ago now, there was an issue with Sunday observance, what some would call the Lord's Day, the observance, how to keep Sunday. Some felt that others were failing to observe Sunday properly, especially those who are watching Sky football in the afternoon. Sadly, one family left the church over the matter, and that was quite a sad time for the church. Now, I guess that was more of an issue then than it is now. When I was growing up, to go even further back than 30 years, we were not allowed to watch TV on Sunday. I would point out that we did have television then. I'm not that old. Mind you, TV was very different those days. There were just 3 channels, until 1982 anyway. Can you believe that? 3 channels, BBC One, BBC Two, and ITV. Channel 4 came in 1982. Some of us will remember that very well. And the pictures may even have been in black and white. So television was a lot less attractive in many ways. But it was not that unusual back in those days, and we're talking now really about the 70s, to have restricted Sundays. Some of you here will remember more strict or restricted or limited Sundays in terms of what you could do. None of the shops were open, for example. Now, as a boy, I found it quite boring, I have to say. But today I find that I do have some quite fond memories of those very quiet Sundays. Some aspects of it were very pleasant, I must admit. But I think I did struggle with it as a youngster, or certainly as a teenager. Some Christians regarded Sunday, and perhaps there are still a few who do, as a kind of Sabbath that needed to be safeguarded largely for worship and rest. It was a day for worship and rest. Keep Sunday special was a campaign back then. So there should be no TV, no shopping, probably no sport. Even reading the paper was barred. But instead there was church twice, morning and evening, possibly Sunday school in the afternoon, a day dominated by the Bible and prayer and worship and rest. Many of you will remember those days. It was very much a God-focused day. That was the goal, wasn't it? To be very focused on God and to get the rest that you needed. A lot of people would work maybe even 6 days a week. A lot of Christians believe Sunday should be a special day, the Lord's Day. And perhaps that's still true today, and I think many of us would want Sunday to be a bit different from other days. Not in exactly the same way, perhaps not with all the same strictures and restrictions that we had then. When Jesus rose again from the dead, the event was so momentous that his disciples changed the day they came together for worship from Sabbath, Saturday, to Sunday, the first day of the week. Because it was the day of the Lord's resurrection. At the same time, it's clear, I think, that they did not make a law of that new day. It was not the Jews had a law, the fourth commandment, the Sabbath was to be kept for the Jewish people. Christians did not make a law for the first day of the week. They did not make a law. So Paul says in chapter 14 of Romans, verse 5, one person considers one day more sacred than another. Another considers every day alike. Each of them should be fully convinced in their own mind. In other words, it seems to be fine to consider every day alike, just as it is fine to eat meat, any meat you like. So there was no new law about Sunday observance. Now, this doesn't mean, of course, that we forget about worshiping Jesus, or that we shouldn't be here today, that it doesn't really matter. I think we still want to keep Sunday special in many ways, don't we? But there's no law about it.